All right, getting jacked and tan in 5 minutes. I want to describe to you guys some of the ways I've been able to get jacked and tan over the years. Let's see, rule number 1, protein. Have 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. I do at least that every day and probably quite a bit more. I currently weigh around 230 pounds and I probably eat around 300 grams of protein every single day. My source of protein is mainly red meat. I'll sometimes eat some salmon. I'll sometimes eat some eggs. I have Piedmontese red meat, which is very lean. I have either their 96.4 ground beef, or I eat some of their steaks, which all of them are quite a bit leaner than most of the steaks that you'll see in the grocery store. I don't eat tons of fat, but I also don't eat tons of carbohydrates. We have 2 main sources of energy: carbohydrates and fats. For me, I choose fat as my main source of energy. I still use carbohydrates because I still eat fruit here and there. A lot of my energy is coming from stored body fat or the dietary fat that I'm consuming. I personally just don't really like to eat a lot of carbohydrates because for me mentally, it's harder for me to control the calories, harder for me to control the overall energy intake. Now, I'm not a big proponent of counting calories. I'm not a big fan of it. And I would love to see more people get to a point where they can have enough education and understand enough about themselves that they don't have to count calories. Having said all that, calories still matter a lot and they still count, even though I decide not to count them. Most of my diet is full with meat, some vegetables, and some fruit, to the point where I can and eggs, I love eggs, I could kind of care less about other foods because I look at it as addition by subtraction. I eat so much of those foods, even sometimes some cheese and some bacon and delicious things like that, that I don't really concern myself with a lot of bread, pizza, or ice cream, or cookie dough, or peanut butter cups. However, I still love those things and I still do crave those things. But normally I can push those cravings away by continuing to eat and continuing to stay on my diet, not allowing my mind to wander and not allowing myself to get too hungry, which is another huge part of my diet. So eat protein, don't let yourself get too hungry. Now, I do utilize intermittent fasting, so this is where it might get confusing. I usually have a 4 to 6 hour eating window every day. So some days I get a little hungrier than others, but I've learned to become buddies with hunger, and I've learned that it's not a reason to go to the emergency room. It's just that you're a little hungry. So you're gonna have to learn to become friends with your hunger, and you're gonna have to learn to not allow yourself to get too hungry. And too hungry is subject to you. So for me, I've learned how to utilize intermittent fasting, and I still practice the art of not allowing myself to get too hungry because you start to make bad decisions. Number 3, key ingredient to staying jacked and tan is my walks. More recently, I started doing 20,000 steps, and I'm at like 35 days in a row of 20,000 steps a day. It's something that I'd advise all of you to partake in, and maybe you find a different amount of steps for you. Maybe for you it's only 5,000 steps every day, but see what sort of consistency you can build up with that. The next thing I gotta mention is consistency itself. Don't go trying to utilize strategies that you're not going to be able to actually do. It's okay to give things a shot and to give things a try, but you wanna give things a try that you can actually adopt so that these things can then start to become part of your life. Eventually they become part of your habits, and eventually they can become part of your character. And the last thing here is to just take care of yourself in general. I like to take 2 showers every single day, although right now I probably stink. I like to take 2 showers every single day. And the reason for that is a shower helps me to just feel better. It helps me to just feel good. I love the way that it feels, so therefore I do 2 showers every day. If you can find a couple of things that make you feel good every day, whether it's journaling or listening to music, going on a walk, writing some poetry, dancing, whatever the hell it is, I would say, hey, make sure you do a lot of that, because being happy and having some equanimity in your life is going to be a key factor in you staying balanced and you being able to handle this thing that we call fitness. There's some of my rules of staying jacked and tan. Obviously, we have to have dedication in the gym, but that's another video for another day. Strength is never weakness, weakness is never strength. Catch you guys later.